Today, we find ourselves driving across the rolling hills in the northeast corner of Illinois, just about 15 miles from the Mississippi River. We enter the small but quaint town of Elizabeth and make a right turn down a dusty, tree-lined road. Our destination is the Apple River Fort. Hi everybody, and welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral. Today we are in Elizabeth, Illinois at the Apple River Fort. In June of 1832, Chief Blackhawk and about 200 warriors attacked this fort for about an hour, and they were repelled by the settlers that lived here, including a small but determined band of women who helped the men reload their rifles and armed themselves to fend off the attack. The fort today is closed, but let's take a look around anyway. This is a key location for students and scholars interested in the Black Hawk War. The Apple River Fort is a reconstruction that was made using the exact materials and implements of the period, making this a fascinating and eye-opening historic site. The fort is quite small, and it's easy to imagine the crowded and harsh conditions of living here. When Chief Blackhawk attacked the fort, he was well armed and accompanied by several hundred warriors. They swiftly learned that the fort was defended by a small but resilient, if not stubborn, group of settlers. Although they were heavily outnumbered, the settlers were well armed and put up a ferocious defense. The air soon filled with the scent of gunpowder, the screams and yells of the warriors, and the brittle exchange of gunfire. The shouts of the wounded and dying echoed across the hills. Remarkably, only one settler was killed during the attack, which lasted for about an hour. Chief Blackhawk and his men were unable to penetrate the Apple River Fort. Among the settlers, Elizabeth Armstrong distinguished herself for bravery as she helped reload the rifles and rally the men in their defense. It's not known how many of Blackhawk's men were killed and injured at the fort, but it's estimated that Blackhawk lost in excess of 450 warriors total during the Black Hawk War. Chief Blackhawk's warriors numbered about 500 for the war's 5-month duration. The American military militia that opposed Blackhawk exceeded 6,000 men, of which approximately 77 were killed. Hi everybody, we're back to Chief Blackhawk. Okay, so if you've watched the recent videos, you've seen me traveling around. I went to the Blackhawk statue. We went to Dixon, Illinois, and Galena, and so forth. And also, as you just saw, we went to Elizabeth, Illinois, which is near Galena. And once again, we're following this guy around. So I showed you this book in that episode about the Blackhawk statue near Oregon, Illinois. And this is a good book. I'm coming back to it, but I'm going to give you one more in relation to Chief Blackhawk. And it's a Blackhawk War Guide by Ben Strand. And this is a great book. So this is not a biography of Blackhawk in the traditional sense. It follows the Blackhawk War across the 3 states and gives you insight into those locations should you wish to visit them now. And it's illustrated with photographs of the sites. For example, the Apple River Fort is included here, which you just saw, and so forth and so on. And it talks about the Black Hawk War from a geographic location, site to site, gives you background on the various battles that were fought, and probably really an indispensable guide. This is a brand new book, so I'm finally current with something. This just came out in the past few months, and I highly recommend it. If you're interested in American history and the Black Hawk War appeals to you, of course, try the biography by Carrie Trask, which I recommended in the previous episode, but get this too to go with it. You get the two, and that's really a great reference work right there on the Black Hawk War. right here in Northern Illinois. And stay well, stay happy, feed your brain, read a book, and I am on the road. See you soon.